Hello all, this is Quita with the Quitassential Life. I am here today adding to my black owned beauty brand series. I'm showcasing Pat McGrath Lab today as a black owned beauty brand business. I purchased 3 items from her, and what you see me adding here right now is her foundation, which is Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I purchased it in the color medium 17. Since I bought it online, I think I did a pretty good match with the color here. I first stippled the foundation on for the first coat, and now I am sort of buffing that in. I'm using a damp beauty blender sponge to press that into the skin. That's what you see here. I am adding a second coat really in the areas where I want to add a little more coverage, so not really covering the whole face. I'm concentrating on my freckles that you see on my nose and my cheeks, and pressing that in with the damp beauty sponge. This foundation is very liquidy. You might have noticed in the early part of this video that I accidentally squirted some when I pumped foundation onto my arm. So it is very liquidy. You really need to let it dry and set. This is a brush that I got off of Instagram that's very dense. It does a great job of blending things. So now I am just continuing to blend. You know, blending is your friend. That foundation and the second coat in. Now I'm just taking a little powder. This is I Am Magic setting powder from Juvia, and brushing that on to give a little set to the foundation. That was just a spray of setting powder. I got this tip from Goss makeup artist years ago that foundation needs to be set with setting powder while you are applying it. I have brows that are a little wiry and crazy. I am using my Lip Bar brow pencil. You saw me use the gel side to try and tame some of the few hairs I do have. Now I'm using the pencil side to create the brow. I featured the Lip Bar in my second episode of my black owned beauty brand series, so I'll be sure to add that link here so you can check that video out as well. Now I'm just using some Juvia concealer in number 17 to clean up the brows and also even out my lid. I like to go across the brows, as you see I've done on the top and bottom here, to make sure that they're even, and I'm continuing to, on the top of that brow with that concealer, clean up the brow line. Now I'm taking my damp beauty blender and blending that into the foundation that's already there. I'm continuing to cover my lid in preparation for the beautiful Pat McGrath eyeshadow. Going down the middle to get rid of that line that we put there to make sure they were even, and just sort of blending that concealer in. And then you set all that with powder. You see I made a little mistake there, touching the concealer onto my brow. Fixing that now. Now on to the eyes. I'm using a small Urban Decay palette and a sort of clay colored with a little purple in it in the crease, so I can build my eye. I plan to use Pat McGrath colors on the actual lid. So we are just adding our crease color, 2 colors there, Now we're using the lighter color in this palette right under the brow. Now I'm just taking a basic generic drugstore concealer with a built-in brush to sculpt out my crease and lid so that the colors will come out and pop a little more when I add them from McGrath's palette. So I'm letting that dry a little bit. That's why I'm fanning it, because it was quite damp. Now I'm powdering it to set it. This is McGrath's Eyeshadow Quad. Absolutely beautiful colors. I am using a rainbow blending technique here. I cannot remember where I saw that on YouTube, but I did get this particular blending application and blending off of YouTube. I'm using the green in her quad palette in the corners. You see how beautiful and shimmery built-in luminescence that McGrath's shadows have. I'm adding in the gold from that palette now, just patting that in. So I'm putting the colors in a stripe going up and down, almost like a rainbow. That's why it's called that technique. When you think of McGrath, her colors are so vibrant, pigmented, and shimmery. I frequently use them for very, you know, you really have to get made up and you need a full glam. My objective with this showcase is to show how you can use her shadows and her makeup in a way that is still appropriate for everyday, you know, going to work type of look, even though her makeup is just the essence of glam. So I'm trying to go for a more everyday type look and show you how you can do that with her shadows. So you see the stripes here. We start with green in the corner, then the gold out of the quad, and now going to the aqua blue color and patting that color in, and then the purple, the beautiful purple that was in this palette. So I am loading that purple on into our rainbow right now. So you see the colors are very distinct and separated. That's the goal in how you apply it when you're trying to use this rainbow blending technique. Showing you the stripes. Now you just take a brush and blend in one direction at a time. So you go from the inner corner to the outer, and then you follow from the outer to the inner. You see the difference between the eye that has been blended and the one that has not. So now I'm going in with the strokes going in one direction and then strokes going in the other. What I'm doing here is I felt like I lost a little bit of that gold in the middle or the second part of the rainbow, and just patting a little bit more in to make sure we can still see all of the colors, and lightly, very light touch in blending that in. Now I'm making sure we don't have any sharp lines. And we're doing our regular highlighting. This is again Juvia's concealer And we're just going to go ahead and buff in that highlight around the face. Around the mouth, under the eye, under the cheekbone. Now I'm using that very dense brush I talked about earlier to continue to blend. Again, blending is your friend. Now this is another technique I got from Goss Makeup Artist. For those folds, laugh lines some people call it, you put the concealer on the inside where the shadow is, and then for the eye you actually put the highlight on the bag, not to conceal the bag itself, meaning the bag's under your eyes. Now I'm just blending in those laugh line area that I just concealed. Now we're doing our contour, regular places. I had to take my band off since I was also doing a hair video. Now I need to blend that color, my foundation, back into the hairline. So that's what you see here. Just taking that brush, I didn't add any new product. I just took the product that was already there and worked with that. Now I can add concealer in the spots I need to around the hairline. Now we're just doing our regular blending of that contour using the dense brush. Now I just have a sponge, sort of a felted sponge that I use to blend the whole face together. After I put everything in, this seems to help blur the lines where they need to be blurred. That's what I'm doing now. It's sort of like a compact sponge, but it's more felted than spongy. Just dusting a little bit of setting powder everywhere through the process. And this is the blush. That was a Revolution blush palette that I am using. And I'm also using Juvia's highlight on those high points of the face. Yes, I forgot to show you my lashes. I'm adding the glue here like I normally would, and poof, we have our lashes on. And the face and the eyeball roll that you see is because the camera wasn't recording for the portion of the eyelashes. So we did what we could. Y'all know I'm still new at this. I'm using a Milani brow pencil where you can just, it's a felt tip, you can draw the individual hairs in. After all the blending, you need some extra on top of your brows again. So face is almost done. I am adding some color right under the black liner. And showing you that blend. Putting a little purple right there on top and bottom of that eyeliner to bring out what you see. You notice I took the purple under the waterline. Now I'm just using a iridescent, almost iridescent but clear, even though it's white in the bottle, on top of my black liner to just give it a little more pop. And that's what you see here. It's an e.l.f. liner. And you know, you gotta do your mascara, your bottom lashes, blend your own lashes into the lash. That's what you see here. Yes, my face is almost done. We are taking our Sephora super fluffy brush and just hitting light powder across the whole face. And then the final setting spray is what you see. So I'm showing you the eyes, the foundation, and we are moving on to what her lip glosses, fabulous lip glosses, look like. OMG, I expected these to be more like lip toppers. They are fully pigmented, they stay moisturized, and the color stays all day. Okay, this is Lavendering Mini Opulous Gloss. It's a beautiful purpley iridescent color, and yeah, I had a hard time taking it off to put on the next color. That's how wonderful it is, and it stays moisturized. I highly recommend these lip glosses. And just taking that sponge with whatever is on there product wise to get ready for the next application of the next color. We're letting you see all three of the colors that I bought. This one has more of an orangey golden hue to it. And there it is. Beautiful. This is Dreamscape Mini Opulous Gloss. Love this. Taking that one off and putting on the next one, which is more of a pink rose toned color. Beautiful. All of them are beautiful. Very moisturizing. Has staying powder. Yes, it comes off when you drink coffee or whatever you're doing, but it doesn't really lose the color on your lips. Isn't that gorgeous? Love this. Love it. Now I'm just giving you a close-up of the eye so you can see how that rainbow blending technique really turned out. So the colors really mesh together, and yeah, you need to try that technique. So this is the final look with our Pat McGrath black owned beauty brand, Pat McGrath Laboratories. love her. I really like her products. I only bought lip gloss, foundation, and the quad because her stuff is expensive. But Pat McGrath, yes, #1. So how do you like the look? Here's some steals of the product. Thank you for joining me. Again, this is Quita with the Quitassential Life. Please come back. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thank you all for supporting my channel.